are y'all doing today? Hey guys, you ready to get started? Well, me too. Well, how many of you like ice cream?
Ma'am.
Well, you're not the only ones. Can you believe that 90% of the households in the United States like ice cream too? I just not only like ice cream, I love ice cream. And my favorite ice cream is the Reese's Dairy Queen Blizzard. Gosh, I believe my daughter and I were going to Dairy Queen at least 2 or 3 times a week just to get a Blizzard. Well, you know how the story goes, and I'm sure you've heard it before. I was spending way too much money there, so I decided to start making the Blizzards at home. If you love Dairy Queen Blizzards as much as I do, or you'd even like to try one, I have the perfect homemade recipe for you. The homemade Dairy Queen Blizzard is so good, and it tastes so easy to make, and it tastes just as good. After sharing some information about the Dairy Queen Blizzard, explaining what supplies and ingredients that you need, I will demonstrate, and the steps that you need to follow, I will demonstrate how you can make your very own homemade Dairy Queen Blizzard. A Blizzard is soft-serve ice cream blended with your favorite added ingredients such as Reese's, Snickers, Butterfinger, Oreos, pretty much anything that you want to add. The Dairy Queen Blizzard has been around since 1985. And the very first year, Dairy Queen sold over 200 million Blizzards. That's a whole lot of ice cream and a whole lot of people. The Dairy Queen Blizzard is even so good, it's even included in a book called Top Secret Recipes, Creating Clones of America's Favorite Brand Name Foods. I've shared some information about the Dairy Queen Blizzard. Now let's get started gathering your supplies. The following supplies that you're going to need are a blender, a big spoon, a measuring cup, and a hammer, and a hand towel. Once you've gathered all the supplies, you're going to need to gather all your ingredients. The following ingredients that you're going to need is vanilla or chocolate ice cream if you prefer, milk, and a candy bar of choice. And today we're going to use Reese's. Once you've gathered all your ingredients that you need, there are several other options you may choose from as for a topping, such as cherries, whipped cream, or nuts if you prefer. Now, once you've gathered all your ingredients, you're going to need to begin to mix your ingredients into the blender. The first step in mixing your ingredients into the blender is to make sure that you wash your hands thoroughly. The next step, you need to make sure you need to place your candy bar into the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes, which I've already done for you. About 10 to 15 minutes, you need to take your candy bar out and break it into small pieces with your hammer. And guys, if you need help doing this, please make sure that you ask your parents or an adult. Once you've broke your candy bar into small pieces, you need to set it over to the side. Then you need to take 2½ cups of vanilla ice cream, pour it into the blender. Oh, making a mess. You take 1/4 cup of milk and mix that all together. Don't forget to put the top on your blender. You need to blend it for about 30 seconds. Maybe not that long, just so it looks smooth. Okay, once it looks a little smooth, take your top off. You need to take your candy bar, which is Reese's, pour it in there, make sure you get all of it out, and stir it up with your big spoon. Once you get finished mixing everything together, put your top back on, and then continue to blend it until it looks like it's mixed really well. That looks good. Okay. You need to stop mixing, and then you can pour it into your cup. That looks good, huh guys? If it doesn't look thick enough for you, you can place your Blizzard into the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes. But if it looks good for you, now's the time to add your additional toppings if you choose. Now once you finish, here comes my favorite part. You can actually eat and enjoy. And guys, if you made a mess, please make sure that you clean up after yourself. Now that I've shared some information about the Dairy Queen Blizzard, explained what supplies and ingredients that you need, and the steps that you need to follow, I hope you can now go home and make your very own homemade Dairy Queen Blizzard.